Joining me now, Ukrainian Parliament member Alexandra Ustinova. Your president has been increasingly scathing about the Western response. Obviously appreciative of what help's been given, but wanting a lot more. What's your position on that tonight?
I can tell you this is the position of every Ukrainian, because we have thousands of people die every day, more than 200 schools destroyed. So far, the response of the West was very weak. It looks like everybody is scared of Putin because the sanctions are partial. Because, for example, the energy sector was excluded and there is no embargo on oil and gas.
Yes.
You know, just to compare, it would be the same if, let's say, Calvin Klein left the Russian market and said, well, we're not going to sell jeans there, but we can keep the rest of the clothes in the stores. That's what actually is happening right now in the world. Also, we've been talking about the banking sanctions. Well, the SWIFT that was promised to be switched off for the Russian banks, unfortunately was switched off only for 7 out of 300 banks that are there in Russia. So we keep watching how the world is trying to protect their economies, not to step in and fight even in the economics with Russians. Also, if you look at the response in the military sphere, we don't ask to be protected. We don't need the US or UK or NATO soldiers to come over and fight for Ukraine. The only thing we kept asking was the air defense systems that can protect our sky, because missiles and bombs are the key problem for us that are killing thousands of civilians. And Putin is doing the best in actually implementing his strategy, because his strategy is simple: to kill as many civilians as he can, and then to put us at the table for negotiations. We have big cities surrounded by the Russian army right now. For example, the city of Mariupol, which is 400,000 people, which is half of the size of Washington, D.C., totally surrounded by the Russian army. And they do not let people, women, children to get out. No safe corridors. And they cannot be enforced because Russians start shooting just civilians, and people are starving to death at the moment in the city and cannot get out. That's why, of course, every Ukrainian, so as the President Zelensky, keep asking for the support that was promised for us. 20 years ago, we gave up our nukes. We were one of the largest of the country who had the largest nuclear weapon ammunition. And we gave it up for the promise that we would have the protection from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Russia if anything happens. Well, this is not happening. We cannot even get you to do the sanctions on oil and gas, which is the main income for Putin.
I know. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for being so forceful and clear about that. And what is so infuriating about that last point about the oil and gas is that putting those sanctions in place and then ramping up U.S. supply so we replace Russian oil and gas with American oil and gas would actually help America. And we're not doing that. And that is infuriating. Alexandra, thank you so much. I can see you're in Washington, D.C. I hope people are listening to you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.